These are exciting times for the Diocese of Blackburn. We're a diocese that has a strong commitment to growth. We believe passionately the gospel that can change people's lives. We want to see parishes renewed. And just recently, we've had the really good news of a big grant from the National Church that will help us massively to expand our ministry, particularly in urban areas and amongst young people. But all these plans will come to nothing if we can't identify the right lay and ordained leaders to carry our parishes forward, leaders who are confident in the gospel and who can use to the best the gifts that God has given them.
We'll be ordaining 27 men and women as deacons and priests to serve in parishes and chaplaincies across Lancashire. This is an exciting stage in the life of our diocese, and this video shows some of their stories of how they've come to this point. I'm thrilled that I'll be ordaining the priests on the 29th of June. That's a particular anniversary for me because it's the anniversary of my own ordination and the anniversary of my consecration, and it's a saint's day of two of my favourite saints, St. Peter and St. Paul. Peter was the unschooled fisherman who trained in the school of hard knocks and yet was the rock on which Jesus built his church. And maybe that's part of your calling. And maybe he wants to call you out in fresh ways. Also St. Paul, church planter, teacher, theologian, and a man who took kind of suffering to the extreme. Also one of my heroes, and maybe that's part of your own story as well. Maybe you're called to plant churches and reach new people with the gospel.
And as I was exploring, I came across this quote that said, "A priest is someone who has been dazzled by the beauty of God and longs to share that beauty with the world." And that is something that I do every day in my curacy. I've been so mesmerised by the beauty of a relationship with Jesus that I get to share it in my community. So whether that's through collective acts of worship with the local primary school, whether that's holding the hand of someone who is nearing the end of their life, whether that's as I drop my daughter off at the school gates, or whether it's through sitting beside someone who is homeless or vulnerably housed in our sanctuary cafe. I'm getting to share something of the love of Jesus and partnering with God as he builds his kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven. And so as I look forward to my priesting, I am excited to see what God will do in this next stage of my adventure with him.
I am really excited to be serving as a deacon at St. George's, Preston, and really looking forward to leaning into those callings that a deacon has for this year before I'm priested, especially to accompany people who are in need, to have that pastoral ministry of coming alongside and loving those, and also to help with discipleship of students, hopefully setting up a new student group, possibly a Bible study, to help share Jesus with them and to help encourage other people to come along into the life of the church and find the love of Christ.
My story is that I was brought up Roman Catholic, and we were brought up coming to church every week, and faith was always part of our lives. But the bit that was missing for me was that I didn't know anything about having a relationship with God. I thought that church was about turning up on a Sunday and that faith was about being a good person, but I didn't know that God knew me and loved me. It wasn't until I was 18 and I'd started university that I heard about relationship with God for the first time. And that for me was transformational. I'm looking forward to being able to give the Eucharist to people, and my prayer is that as they come to receive the Eucharist on a Sunday, that they will meet God in the way that I have, that they will be able to know more and more of God's love for them.
I'm very much looking forward to beginning my curacy in the parishes of Tarleton and here in Rufford. At the moment, I'm standing in front of the beautiful and historic church of St. Mary the Virgin. One of the things that really inspires me is the words of the ordinal when it's talking about the calling of a deacon, part of which, it says, is to work with fellow members in reaching out to those who are poor, those who are weak, those who are marginalized, those who are oppressed, that reaching out into the forgotten corners of our world, that the love of God might be made visible. I'm so looking forward to walking with the people of these parishes, and as we're nourished by word and sacrament here, to walk with them forward as we leave that place to go out into the world to make the love of God and the good news of Jesus Christ known.
So I'm at a point now where I look forward to the priesthood, not just to work with people to find practical solutions to the challenges of everyday life, and we know there are many, but to work with them to see where God calls them to be. Because no matter who we are and what we do, and the vast majority of us aren't called to the priesthood, God has a purpose for us. He has a call in our lives. He wants us to work with the talents that He has given us, to live lives of meaning, of purpose, lives directed towards love, to the kingdom of God, to living differently to the world that we currently live in.
The ordination season is also, I think, a challenge to everybody. We have a God who calls, a God who sets apart ordinary men and women to serve in His name and gives them the gifts they need to do so. So I'm also hoping that as we ordain these 27, many people around the Diocese of Blackburn will be saying, what is God calling me to do? How does He want me to use my gifts so that the kingdom can be lived here in Lancashire?
Wherever your calling is, our prayer is that you might hear from the Spirit of God. May He set your hearts on fire. May He call out those hidden dreams and visions that He's put in you.